that's a pretty antsy graph. Gabby's footwork casual there, and I feel the cause of that unforced error. Beautiful forehand down the line, set up that short ball, but the intensity lagging there.
Beautifully relaxed stroking from Sabatini. Takes her the 3-1 in the tiebreak. The timing so fine, it seemed effortless. No, it's out.
Could have been serving at 4-1. She just somehow, anyhow, nursed through this shot. Trying, but maybe not thinking about just getting it back in play. Looked like she slugged it.
Oh, the elbow. Just went to lead. And that's 3-all. Having been 2-love and 3-1, Sabatini. So this is where she's really, I think, had the best chance of the lot.
Well, it's a little bit match toughness. Obviously, Gabby double faulting partly because of her serve weakness, but maybe because of the way the point previous to that had been lost. Needs to think point to point more quickly.
Graf in front for the first time in the tiebreak. 4 points to 3. That's 5-3.
Well, this is right down the barrel of the cannon. Steffi can beat you the other way, but the later you force her to contact that ball, and that was late enough, the more you can read the direction it actually went.
It definitely worked to flatten out that forehand. I suppose, though, you'd have to say that she hasn't been hitting it long enough and winning enough matches, really. She reached for that. Graf, 6-4, and the match is here. Two match points.
Steffi needs a big one here.
there? What on earth happened there? It won the match. Well, what a bizarre ending. It really was extraordinary. A very, very good match. An hour and 38 minutes. The better player in the end won, but it was scary for Graf. And she goes across to her coach, Heinz Gundhardt. That's how important it was that she won that. You can always tell from their reaction. Mum's here as well. There's Heinz Gundhardt. And there's the family support. It was scary for Graf, it really was. It'll be discouraging for Sabatini, who's really advanced back to a very high level indeed. Barbara.
Yes, I think Gabby should take good heart from the advances she's made in this match, because really there were very few points that separated the winner from the loser today. And Steffi, showing me what she's really made out of, was locked into this patience game at the baseline, but insisted on being the aggressor at the most important point of the match so far for her.
She's still been beaten only once this year. She's collected 6 titles along the way, and now she's waiting to see whether it's going to be Monica Seles after all. That's the match, the final, that everybody thinks the US Open this year, in the women's event at least, has been set up to produce. Some climax it would be.
Well, what a bizarre way to finish that match. First the ball was up, and then it was down, and then the umpire called match to Graf. So Graf through to her 7th US Open final. Claire Wood, that was a match today, wasn't it, for Steffi Graf? I thought Gabriela Sabatini played so well today.
She did. She really went out there and she gave it absolutely everything, and you have to give her all credit for that. And I think she was very unlucky. It was amazing because she made all the running. She really, you could see her game plan was to come in, attack Graf's forehand even, come in on the forehand, and she was making all the right moves, but on the crunch points, Steffi came up with the goods. And there were just a couple of crucial points where Gabby's serve let her down, which was unfortunate because she served very well. And the rest of the time, Steffi just managed to pull out the big serve or the big shot when it really counted.
And tactically today, I thought Sabatini was near perfect.
Great. Yeah, I think she really played a very smart match. She gave Steffi a fright, and she really made Steffi work for it because she was doing different things with the ball. She's coming in on some, then she's staying back, and she really, yeah, tactically played a very good match.
Now, we picked out some points for analysis, haven't we? I think we picked out 4 points during the match that we thought showed the variations of the match, what Graf did well, what Sabatini did well, and I think you picked the first one out, didn't you? That's
right. It was 2-all in the first set, and, yeah, Sabatini putting in a short return, but they're defensively just getting everything back and coming in and putting away the volley. And I think she played that point really well because she was on the defensive.
She played very aggressively today, didn't she, for me?
Turned it round, yeah.
Now, this was a point that I picked out. It was 3-all in the first set, and we can stop it almost there. Now, what's going to happen here? I'm going to use a telestrator. Sabatini has pulled Graf out wide here. She's exposing this forehand side, which I thought she did well today. She's going to approach down here and make Graf run across, exposing this backhand side here, and then she knocks off the volley. We can just run that on there. Now, this was great play. Then she comes in, exposing the backhand, and it's down. Yeah, and the next point I picked out was a set point to Graf. And this time she approached the forehand. There, that's where she came in, making Graf straight. Graf invariably expects the approach to come to a backhand. This time Sabatini put it down to her forehand and cleaned up with another smash.
And my one was at 4-3, Sabatini serving in the second set. And it just shows Sabatini approaching, but Graf's court coverage is amazing here.
That's her strength, though, isn't it, the way that she moves?
It is. Sabatini moving her around, but then coming into the forehand again, stretching Graf, getting it in, and Sabatini running well, but Graf coming up with the big forehand in the end.
But the way that I thought Graf played was sensible as well, even though I thought maybe the blisters affected her slightly today. She hung in there. I thought her mind was slightly distracted by that, but she was quite prepared to take the knocks, you know, go the breaks down.
Yeah.
But the way she came back all the time, I thought was very impressive.
That's right. Right from the first set, she had the trainer on court, and it wasn't really visible what was wrong, but it did look like blisters. But it wasn't hindering her movement at all, so that couldn't have been a major factor, although I think, as you say, it just took her mind off the job slightly, especially when she went out and lost the game to Love after the trainer had been on the court. But she really, when the crunch came, she came up with the goods, and that was what won her the match in the end, because she made a lot of unforced errors throughout, but then was able to just tighten up her game enough to keep her in the match and hang with Sabatini in the second set, which got very close, and really, I think, came out with the big shots when it mattered. Especially,
Sabatini had a lot of break points, but then Graf served and volleyed a lot on the big points. That was interesting for me to see today, because I haven't seen her do that before. Yeah. Invariably, she tries to go for three-quarter length serve and then play the rally out from the back and rely on a big forehand, but she mixed it up well today.
She did mix it up well, and also I think she felt she had to get into the net before Sabatini did, because Sabatini was really pressing and trying to get in and put Graf under pressure at the back, and I think Graf countered that by trying to get in herself. And in fact, in some of the rallies as well, she had Sabatini under pressure and she'd come in and knock off a volley. And I think serving and volleying did just mix it up and break up Sabatini's rhythm a little. Do
you think there was any sign of a Sabatini choke today at all in this match? Maybe, possibly?
No, I was looking out for it, but I think, sadly, her serve just let her down. But I think she was gutsy and she hung in there, and she definitely had chances in both sets. And I think she was unlucky, really.
Bis dahin zumindest. Anett Pilawa ist in New York und sie hat das immer wieder gern genommene Duell Graf-Sabatini gesehen.
Steffi Graf gegen Gabriela Sabatini, das war das Match zweier alter Bekannter. Schon 39 Mal standen sich die beiden bisher gegenüber. 28 Mal gewann Graf, nur 11 Mal Sabatini. Eigentlich eine klare Bilanz, doch die Nummer 1 begann alles andere als überzeugend. Solch ein Return war alles andere als eine Ausnahme. Die Taktik von Sabatini dagegen aggressiv. So oft wie es eben ging, kam sie ans Netz vor. Die Folge, solch kuriose Ballwechsel. Und dieser Volley war nicht die einzige Einlage, die Sabatini an diesem Nachmittag zu bieten hatte. Kein Ball wurde von der Nummer 9 der Weltrangliste verloren gegeben. Doch ihr Mut zur Offensive wurde nicht immer belohnt. Ein glückliches Break im ersten Satz erreichte Steffi. Mit 6:4 entschied sie ihn denkbar knapp für sich. Es war kein hochklassiges Halbfinale, dafür aber eins fürs Auge und die Nerven. Der zweite Durchgang ging in den Tiebreak und hier spielte Graf ihre ganze Routine aus. Endlich saßen auch die Passierschläge. Nach 1 Stunde und 38 Minuten hieß es Matchball Graf. Und der war ebenso kurios wie so viele Ballwechsel in diesem Halbfinale. 33 Sekunden lang wurde der Ball hin und her gespielt. Und dann riss Steffi Graf auf einmal die Arme hoch, obwohl Sabatini noch weiterspielen wollte. Doch da hieß es auch schon Game, Set, Match Graf, die selber noch völlig verwirrt war.
Ich war erstmal so überrascht, ich war so begeistert von meinem Volley und irgendwo, dass ich gewonnen hatte, in dem Sinne. Und habe dann gar nicht mehr drauf geachtet, ob sie den Ball noch richtig erreichen kann. Ich habe einfach gedacht, nee, die kriegt sie nicht mehr, so ungefähr. Und dann hat sie eben doch beinahe noch bekommen. Und dann wusste ich auch nicht, ob die Schiedsrichterin eben gesagt hat, vor lauter eben schon gewonnen zu haben, wusste ich auch nicht, ob die Schiedsrichterin gesagt hat, ob er schon zweimal aufgedopst ist oder nicht.
Graf trifft im Finale nun auf Monica Seles, die Conchita Martinez mit 6:2 und 6:2 abfertigte. Aber erst einmal wird sie dieses kuriose Jubiläum gegen Sabatini verarbeiten müssen.
Also, toller Sieg für Steffi Graf und das wird mit Sicherheit ein Riesenfinale bei den
Friday's semi. Steffi had beaten Gabby 7 straight times and had knocked her out of the Open 3 times. Make that 4. Despite a foot injury, ongoing family woes, and numerous unforced errors, Steffi rose to the challenge and beat Sabatini again to reach the finals of the Open for the 7th time. At the end of the first set, Steffi had to have her left foot bandaged, but it wasn't a problem.
I had a pretty good chance. I mean, the whole match I had chances, you know, the whole time. So, you know, I think I should have won at this one set, and you know, and I think I could have won the match. So it is really disappointing.
I felt pretty good out there, especially I think from being down 4-2 and break points in the second set. I think I played a few very good games at that stage. I tried to come in, force the points, and I think I played really well then.
So it's a Graf-Sellis final at the U.S.
Personal troubles, her father's arrest, Steffi screeched with relief after putting away Gabriela Sabatini in Friday's other semifinal. Despite all that and a bandaged left foot, Steffi worked around in attacking Sabatini, the 1990 Open winner, and took the first set 6-4. Gabby kept pressuring in the second and forced a tiebreak, but she was left frustrated at the end, falling 7-6 in the deciding set, 7-5 in the tiebreak. Graf said she didn't think she'd be able to make the final because of all the distractions in her life. Gabby thinks she should be there.
I had a pretty good chance. I mean, the whole match I had chances, you know, the whole time. So, you know, I think I should have won at this one set, and you know, and I think I could have won the match. So it is really disappointing.
I felt pretty good out there, especially I think from being down 4-2 and break points in the second set. I think I played a few very good games at that stage. I tried to come in, force the points, and I think I played really well then.
So sports fans will get the match they wanted. Sellis versus Graf in the U.S. Open final. The first seed against the second, and a chance for these co-number ones to determine who is the finest women's player in the world. CNN's Mark Morgan has more on the matchup.
It's the matchup tennis fans have been waiting for. Monica Seles and Steffi Graf have advanced to the U.S. Open women's final. They both posted straight-set semifinal victories and are now ready to go head-to-head.
You know, you get to play and compare your game against the best player out there. And I mean, it's the finals of Grand Slam, so even if whatever happened back in Hamburg wouldn't have happened, I'm still very excited. But being that's my first Grand Slam after that thing, it's going to be even, I mean, so special that it's beyond for me to put any words. It's great.
And obviously, I'm excited to be the finals and playing against her. I don't think it could get any better than that.
Seles has been nothing short of amazing since returning to the court. She has yet to lose a set and seems to have rarely broken a sweat.
You know, even if there are close stages in the match, she really goes for her shots, and she is, you know, she's not really getting tense. She seems to really be going for everything and doing that very well. She has a lot of control in her strokes.
I think Steffi is a great player and I'm a great player, but we both have very amazing records that put us in a category which very few other athletes are. Martina, Chrissy, and Billie Jean.
It's been definitely the most demanding time and the most demanding inside of me. I mean, it took a lot out of me the last few weeks, and so it's definitely much more than at any other stage in my life.
She can separate things very well, you know. When she goes to the court, she's just playing tennis there. She's not thinking about what's going on in her personal life.
Graf and Seles have met 10 times, with Steffi holding a 6-4 lead overall. But Seles has won 2 of their last 3 meetings in Grand Slam events, including their last meeting, the 1993 Australian Open final. In New York, Mark Morgan, CNN Sports.